Hello, world. Welcome to Pardon the Politics podcast, season 2, episode 30. I am your co-host, Jeezy, along with my brother and my partner in politics, Manny. My brother, how are you doing on this fine day?
Brother, I am incredibly blessed.
Yes, sir.
Incredibly blessed. I done made
Tell the folks why you blessed, bro.
I done made it another trip around the sun, man.
Yes, sir.
Made that lap, and we still here and we still kicking.
Yes, sir. Yes,
because
sir.
There are many people who would love to be in the same position.
Hey, brother, it's a blessing to see another birthday 6 feet above rather than 6 feet below. So
absolutely.
To our listeners, this is a special day. And for this episode, we're not going to hold our brother up too long today, but it is Manny's birthday. So happy birthday.
Before we begin.
Yes, sir.
I need to fuss at a couple people because, you and I, we got some real ignorant friends.
Yeah.
And I would like you to read the text that I received from one of our listeners at 12:01 a.m.
Uh-oh.
Happy birthday. And may each day be another wonderful secret.
Bruh, I was going, look. I thought about that when I realized the day was your birthday, and I was like, we just was talking last episode, bro, about those wonderful birthday card messages.
But here's the thing, that's not the only one that I got that said that.
Oh, bro, so they already know what time it is.
They're and ready. But thank you guys for all the birthday wishes and the love. I appreciate it. To our listeners, if you want to appreciate me for my birthday, make sure you follow, and you share.
Share the pod.
That would be the greatest birthday present I could receive from y'all this year. Unless one of y'all is a billionaire, a multi-billionaire, and you want to slide the kid about $62 million.
Ooh, right. How'd you get to 62?
Bro, so that's
do I want to? Okay, I'm about to say, do I want to know?
It is precisely calculated. So
I know you, so I figured it was.
I break it down for 20 million at 5% interest. That should give me $1 million a year in interest. So if I can't function off $1 million a year, something is wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's another 20 million. That's broken off into two. One, so I can take care of the family and friends, but the other one's just focus on charitable giving. Actually, no, mix it up. That's what that second 20 million is for. Then that third 20 million is for the charitable organization to give and reinvest in the community. All of these kicking over $1 million in interest every year. And then $2 million is for me to blow recklessly.
I was going to ask you because I thought with the charitable, I was going to ask were poll workers and body clapping enthusiasts in that category, or were they getting slotted to another one?
No, that would be a mix of that $2 million just expenditure as soon as it happened, and part of that. See, I think I would have to work up to getting used to like $1 million in a year salary, so I could at least get another 500,000 real quick.
Yeah.
Right off the beginning. So
shout out to, and before we move along, shout out to the poll workers and the body clapping enthusiasts. No tips, no tax on tips. Well, brother, I hope that your birthday is everything that you hope and desire and some more. Definitely blessed to call you my brother and my friend, but most of all, my partner at this podcasting thing that we have decided to do, and I am grateful for knowing you and have grown to know you, and my family to get to know you. So, brother, please enjoy the day as you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Well, since it's your birthday, I hope you get the gifts that your heart desires, but I know someone else got a gift this week and it wasn't their birthday.
Yeah, he did.
Bruh, South Park reared its head again. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I had forgot all about South Park because one, I just don't watch Comedy Central no more. It was kind of one of those things. If you grew up watching South Park, that was that late night TV that you, what was it? I think there was the Man Show. Yep. You had South Park. You had Chappelle Show. So really, I didn't even realize that they had took a hiatus. And from what I gather, it hadn't been that long of a hiatus. And two, I think just being kind of acclimated to our society and culture today, I didn't want to get canceled for watching the show.
Right. So my own personal issue is South Park gets a little bit too sacrilegious for me.
Okay.
So I'm just like,
Yeah.
But here's what I will say. They have to have one of the top 3 hardest working legal teams in the country. The 3 legal teams that I think get off. Whoa, pause.
I'm about to say, yeah.
That
all right, now it's your birthday, but you.
The 3 hardest working legal teams that work on TV shows in America. Number 3 has to be Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah.
Because they got to work hard.
Yeah.
Number 2, I have a South Park.
Okay.
And number 1 is still undefeated last week tonight with John Oliver. I know John Oliver got his legal team in there stressed weekly.
Every episode.
But nowhere near was anyone as stressed as that team over at South Park and Comedy Central.
Listen, man, I woke up on the 23rd and did my normal routine as I always do and commute to work. And I looked at the LXI group chat. And our dear engineer, Frank, said, yo, have y'all seen this episode of South Park? And I was like, wait a minute, what? So I go and dig, and this is their season 27 premiere, first episode of their season 27 premiere, and it was called Sermon on the Mount. And I believe this comes after they had taken a hiatus from the 2024 election. And so to give our listeners some backstory before we even get into I don't even know what you call this.
And let's be clear, we both have seen this episode.
Yes. Yeah.
Like as soon as Frank dropped it, I immediately started dodging clips like I was Neo in the Matrix until I could sit down and watch it in its entirety.
Bruh. I will say, if you are an old South Park fan, they did not disappoint.
Oh no,
they didn't. They have not lost a single step. So, to give you some backstory to our listeners, this, like I said, this was their first episode of their season 27 premiere after taking hiatus from the 2024 election. And the creators, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, had unveiled this episode shortly after signing the $1.5 billion 5-year streaming exclusive deal with Paramount Plus, which was announced on the 21st. So, which is wild because when they went in there and they signed that deal, bro, they knew they had this in the tuck. Like, oh yeah, bro.
Like they're playing Uno. It's like, oh, you got 2 cards left. Unbeknownst to you, I got 3 draw 4s.
Got a fistful of draw 4s and a wild. It's over. So I know that when they went in and signed this deal, whoever was in this room clearly had to be like, oh, we've been hoodwinked, we've been bamboozled. Right. So in this episode, they go ham. For our listeners, I would say. Now, if you're culturally sensitive,
this ain't for you.
It ain't for you. If you have,
but kids, also if you're culturally sensitive, this podcast probably isn't for you.
Yeah. So if you're hearing this, you might fall right in line. But I would advise you that if you're sensitive, don't watch it. And if you have kids, do not let
this ain't for them either.
Do not have this anywhere around, because while it may look cartoonish, it is certainly not.
Far from child friendly.
It is not. But in this episode, bro, they went crazy, and I loved how they started out with hitting the fact that Eric Cartman was his favorite radio station.
NPR.
NPR had been gone, and he just had to try to cope with life with wokeness gone, only to get in school, bro. There was so much, and because I don't want to take too long, bro. But down from the principal being
going from really woke to
like this
PC pro
Christ principle or something like that, and Jesus in the school literally. And then Kyle got in trouble because he didn't let Jesus
sit at the table. There wasn't any space.
Right, and he had the pledge that he was going to let Christ get you. Make sure you give Christ a seat at your lunch table. But what really, even down to them, those that were, I'm assuming that the people of the town were MAGA enthusiasts, and realizing that they kind of got hoodwinked
They FA and then FO'd.
Yep. And they're like, who's making this decision? And when they come in, Donald Trump. And bruh,
let me tell you, when I heard that they were talking about, I was not prepared for what I heard that the Trump was going to be in here. Bruh. I was not prepared for how they visually represented Trump.
Bro,
perfect.
Come on, guys, relax.
I don't know how many hours it took to bring all of that together.
The faces, the angles, bruh, was classic, right? Oh, dude, he's like, I bombed Iraq. He said, I thought you did Iran. Them
same
thing.
Like, same thing.
Even having the prime minister or the president come in from Canada and he's like old school dress. I'm like, bro,
he's the full guard.
The full guard outfit on, talking crazy. He kicked the painter out.
Bruh.
And then he goes and lays in bed with Satan. And this just was a recall to me back from when we seen South Park do this with Saddam Hussein.
Mm-hmm. Oh no! Even before that, I feel like we can't get through without addressing this.
Yeah.
They had characterized his lower extremities.
Oh, bro!
As he hopped into bed with Satan.
Come on, you want to touch it?
I can't even see it.
I can't even see it. But the fact that he was in bed trying to rouse up Satan, and Satan's like, I don't want to do this. It was just, I think the whole time I watched this, I just was like shocked. Not shocked from the sense of South Park, because this is up their alley.
Oh yeah, they are in their bag. I just was
like, ooh, Trump is going to be
in trouble.
Somebody's about to be, because he sees everything. Right. He sees everything, and this was South Park didn't even. I don't even recall if they even pushed that they were premiering their season. I think this just got word of mouth on social media. It just dropped out on social media where everybody was talking about it, and bam, and I was like, oh yeah, bro. This
I wonder how many people signed up for Paramount Plus
to see this.
Because I have Paramount Plus, but that's because my child likes to watch Paw Patrol and is the only place where I can have the litany of Paw Patrol episodes without them repeating. But they had to make bank. Well, they haven't made bank yet because everyone who probably signed up is on that free 7 1 month.
But hold on though. After seeing this, are you sticking? Are you going ahead and putting that card information in?
Well, they make you put in the card information before you sign up. But how many people have set reminders that said, "Hey Google, in 7 days, remind me to cancel this subscription"?
Bruh, I think that. And I mean, they hit other things too with they were clever about how, Trump always is threatening lawsuits, and they even referenced the Paramount $16 million settlement over the 60 Minutes lawsuit and the cancellation of the late show with Stephen. They were hitting everything.
Well, and it was funny, when they get to the lawsuit part and they're talking about, South Park's only going to be sued from what is it, 10 billion down to 3 million. They're like, oh yeah, that works.
They were like, yeah, we could cut.
We could do that. Just cut
some funding and some school funding.
And the double entendre that was there about, we had to pay the federal government. So now because of the cut, we have to cut funding for roads and schools and health care. But
Chef Kiss. This episode part just perfect, bro.
That got me in final, going through the episode, I was like, they've nailed this. They have, in terms of comedy, knowing their audience and landing it. But when they were like, you have to produce some pro-Trump essential propaganda,
which
essentially.
I think is in reference to the settlement he made with who was it? They got to give him $20 billion in advertising and all that stuff. I was like, yo. And they only to use that to what we've seen on social media with people having these AI generated videos. I was like, yo, South Park, perfect.
What was the prompt that you gave that AI generator
to generate
to
that.
do all of that.
And who was behind it? Because whoever that is a genius at using it.
How much water was evaporated from Earth to cool those computers to make that video? Because I won't say it was completely worth it, but for them to spin it off of the Jesus knows us,
bruh, crazy, bruh,
and
crazy.
We're going back to Trump's lower extremities, and God, I hope this is the last time we talk about.
I was about to say.
So the creators were at Comic-Con.
Yep.
Talking about it. And I'm trying to find the quote, but they were at Comic-Con and they were talking about it. And they opened up and they said, "We're terribly sorry." And just stared at the
insincere way.
The most insincere apology I've heard in a long, long time.
Yep. Which is on brand.
Completely on brand.
Completely on brand.
Completely on brand. And then they talked about showing his lower extremities in the episode, and they went back and forth for 4 days. Jeez, imagine being in a room where you're talking about Trump's lower extremities for 4 days because apparently, and I could understand why, you got Paramount. We're trying to close this deal with Skydance. We're already trying. You guys are poking the bear.
Yep.
We're trying to let you softly poke the bear, but y'all jabbing him.
Right, y'all straight up and cuts to the good.
And when Trey Parker said, "So we compromised, we gave his lower extremities eyes, so technically it's a character." Done. That's how lawyers of the year. And their legal department is still probably stressed because for every action with this White House, there's an equal but opposite overreaction.
But to this, will we see? And I'm not saying that this is what I want. Right. Will we see more of this character? Because now I'm thinking, are we going to see appearances like we saw with Mr. Hanky?
I think it's I think it is inevitable.
Yeah, but I think so at this point.
I think it's inevitable that the character will be back.
Yeah.
I think how much they'll be back will be based on how everything plays out, because I don't know South Park's production cycle.
Yeah.
I don't know how fast they can turn over characters. But Trump has two decisions from here. He can be loud about it and keep drawing eyes to it, or he can be quiet and kind of hopefully, because he has it. I thought by now he would have addressed it. Like somebody would have asked the question and he said something directly. I've not, the only thing that I've seen.
The White House has said something.
Yeah, they said South Park has been irrelevant for 20 years. No fourth-rate show is going to derail the momentum of the most successful presidency in history.
Which I don't think to that statement. I don't think that South Park is trying to derail. But I certainly think they're just trying.
They're just trying to make fun of you.
Hey, a gnat can't cause that much destruction, but it is annoying.
It's super annoying. Super, super annoying.
And I think that's the angle that South Park's taking.
But then you also got to look at the position that Trump is in.
Yeah.
Because we said it last episode, the American people are very much on task right now.
Yep.
We want to know and we want to see what's in these Epstein files. So in a way, it almost makes sense for him to pick a fight with South Park. But 3 weeks, geez, 3 weeks. Nothing has distracted us from seeing what's in these files. Congress shut down. So to try to not talk about
it,
these files.
Still can't help it. And they're not making it any better. And I don't want to get off South Park, but they're not making it any better because with them meeting with Madam Max, that's what I'm going to call her. We're meeting with Madam Max now it definitely looks a little iffy. Like, okay, you're behind closed doors. DOJ is talking to Madam Max. what are y'all trying to do? She's been granted, I think, like a
limited immunity, or
limited
partial
immunity or
immunities.
something like that. Like, I'm like, and then they asked him the question about pardoning her, and he's like, well, you mean, I mean, I can. And it's like, yeah,
Oh
you
yeah.
can.
Will you?
But exactly, because in that there's a little bit of fluff in there where it's like, okay, because it seems like, all right, if she knows, and I think the article I saw, they said that she gave them like maybe like 100 names.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, if that's 100 out of the 200, and the ones that are left out happen to have Donald Trump's name and a pardon come, we won't never see it coming. Which I got a feeling this might be the next angle that South Park takes.
Right.
I hope episode 2 is about the Epstein files.
Is it going to become a recurring theme?
Bruh.
Possibly. Very much possibly.
But where does this leave Paramount? Because you just signed this deal. You've already kind of, and people have looked at Paramount as kind of doing certain things to, I'm not saying appease the president, but certainly to maybe lessen the attention that he has had on other media outlets and other establishments. With this being so of a just a straight jab to the face of Trump, with this deal, and maybe whatever legal ramifications that may come of it, where does this leave Paramount now?
There's one thing at the end of the day that runs the U.S. economy, and that's money. So South Park drops another episode that stays on this, and all these people who signed up for the 7-day stay on, and they make bank. I think they dance. They say, okay, let's go. What is interesting about the Skydance deal is there was a very strange condition applied to it. And that was an appointment of a editorial board for 2 years to review content bias complaints. And written commitments to present journalistic programming reflecting broader ideological perspectives, and Paramount eliminating DEI programs. So I guess if you now have this board that has to review content, what is considered news content, what is considered reporting, what's considered entertainment, because we've known for years that there's been this category of infotainment. There were articles that you could go back 10, 15, 20 years ago, which now when I say that 10, 15, 20 years ago, I'm like, oh yeah, I was like 5, 6. No, I was in high school. I was getting ready to graduate. All that aside, but there was a big focus that people were now getting their news. Young people were now getting their news from The Late Show. They were getting it from Comedy Central. They were getting it from these infotainment outlets. Yep. So because they're talking about news events, does that classify them as news? And if they're now classified as news, do they now fall under liable based on how they're reporting? Yeah. You know, how does that affect everything? How does that affect this podcast? Yeah. Big facts. Where we talk about facts, but we also add the comedy to, how does that affect us? And where is that goalpost residing where there's like, all right, that's crossing the line. Because consider what's under the Paramount brand. You got CBS, Paramount, MTV, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, and BET. And VH1. Sorry, that was like there's one other person I was missing. VH1. That's a lot of various content. Yes, and if you need that how much do they make the decision to either cut content to be in balance or expand content to try to bring other people? My expectation from a money standpoint is that they would look to expand their content, bring in more people, but that costs more money. Yeah. But if your current content is poking the bear, like we saw with Stephen Colbert, and I say poking the bear as in agitating the White House, doesn't make sense to cut, because I believe everyone was saying, even though they say they cut the Colbert Show due to financial reasons, that it was one of the few late night shows that was making money.
Bingo.
So
what are you judging it by? Because if he's one of the only few that are making money, it doesn't make sense to make the move unless it's because of you're trying to manage the output of what's being said and what's being done.
Yeah.
I think right now the CEO of Skydance, I believe his name is David Ellison.
Mm-hmm.
So far, he's hands off on the creative approach. He was asked about this and was briefed actually on the episode and the graphic Trump depiction of his.
Right, he had to be hot.
And they said that he did not see it, but he was in fact briefed on it, and he did not directly intervene with standards and practices regarding the scene. So there is no indication at this time that Skydance intends to censor or limit South Park going forward, even though despite folding in the merged entity with Paramount. So right now he's cool, he's chilling. But I think that's really just him, which is a smart move. Let's read the room. Let's not react too fast. But then, okay, if this is episode 1, and like all of us who have seen seasons and series or what have you, sometimes season 1 can either be
episode 1.
Episode 1 can
sets the tone.
It can either set the tone and we up from here, or it could be a fall off of the cliff. Knowing South Park and
I gotta think it's up and it's stuck.
Oh, it's up and it's stuck, bro. After this episode, I might have to really go look and see when an episode is dropping, like, so I can be ready, because I need to know where we're going from here. I'm not saying I'm not back in the South Park, like in the thick of it, but they got my attention, bro.
Bro,
they got my attention. They got my attention. So,
and you know what? It's one of those cases where I think you can calmly say, if you're in Paramount's position, if you're looking at a pure eyes and Nielsen ratings standpoint, all attention is good attention in this standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And how big of a fight is, because I think that's really what's going to tie their hands, and I think that's really what's going to judge what these episodes end up doing, is because how bad is the White House going to fight back, and what does that $1.5 billion deal with South Park look like?
Yeah,
because if they're like, hey, it's 1.5 guaranteed money, then cool, cancel the series. You still running me my 1.5.
Bingo.
Or their contract guarantees. Is this an NFL contract?
I was about to say, as long as the Cincinnati Bengals ain't at the negotiating table.
Right.
Bro, we ain't gonna start on them. Bro, Jesus. I can negotiate a contract better than that.
Right. Number 10 pick, what?
Bro, you been about to go back to college, bro. Like, first of all, that would have been, I wanted that to happen desperately.
I still want that to happen.
He signed the deal.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he signed yesterday. He signed, they dropped the picture and everything. They finally.
Did they drop the clause?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And gave him the guarantee that he wanted. Yeah.
Man, I'm disappointed he signed. But I can't help but wonder everything that was in play with that. Because there were a lot of things.
We got one.
So I wonder if the other NFL owners called up the Bengals and say, hey, y'all try this. And if it works, we gonna do it next year and say y'all were the marker for this.
Bro, you know all the plantation masters got together and talk. They get together 1 week out of the year where they just say, hey, what'd you do with yours over there? How'd it work over there? And they say, hey, look, y'all tried over there with y'all. Y'all good to go. I wouldn't have chose Cincinnati. I might have chose another franchise, but because they already got a situation with the other guy that they can't get a deal
already.
With. So it's hot. It's hot on their plantation.
Look, and Deshaun Watson has already messed it up for ain't no one getting another fully guaranteed contract.
Now who was behind that to say, hey, y'all try that and let us know how that work out? With
Deshaun Watson,
don't you speak of these meetings no more,
bro? Or no. They want that person to keep speaking. They're like, oh, yeah. Because had Patrick Mahomes' contract been fully guaranteed, then Jalen Hurts.
Sheesh. Yeah.
And before we dive any deeper, I believe being a man. Oh, yeah, that was bad. Being a man without a football team to cheer for this year.
Oh, bro, you full free agent?
Full free agent.
For real?
I'm tired. I'm tired. Look, I'm serious. I'm tired of this abusive relationship I had with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay.
But everyone should be concerned about the Philadelphia Eagles.
Bruh.
Because Jalen Hurts he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem. And if the Eagles ever decide to give him some weapons, they're going to be a problem.
Right. Well, I mean, him with Saquon alone is a problem.
Big problem.
And I would say we could just, with Saquon being a black athlete, we could just throw a white woman over there to kind of distract him and get him off his rocker. But he already got one, and he rushing for over 2,000 yards. So it's like we can't do nothing with him. We got to figure out some kryptonite for this brother.
Because the fact that Jalen Hurts didn't even pull out and put on his Super Bowl ring and was just like,
I'm glad you said Super Bowl ring, because that first part of that was egregious. The fact that he pulled out, I was like, all right, bro.
He received his Super Bowl ring and looked at it and said, that's nice. And so onto this playbook, though.
Bro.
Eagles about to be a problem for the NFL this year.
They got to be a way to beat them, bro. Which they are beatable. I mean, they are beatable. Any team is beatable, and they've lost some games last year. But what will they look like? Well, people now, I hate to say it, but you can't. You just can't go against Saquon like that, bro. You gotta have a stacked defensive line to even mess with that guy.
You got Saquon, and you also have a good offensive line.
A great offensive line. A great offensive line.
And so, best of luck to all the NFL teams out there, and y'all might be in a pickle this year,
bro. We might have some sports pickles coming up. But yeah, man, bro, thank you. Might have some sports pickles, Jesus. Bro, I was over here getting like Joey Chestnut over here. So but we'll see what South Park does and where this goes. I think Trump is playing it cool so far, which I think that's just outwardly what he looks like. I think internally he's fuming, and I think he has to see his micro regions one more time. I think that we might get.
So I was just digging through something. So there was an internal memo that leaked from Dave Ellison, the Skydance CEO.
Yeah.
That said, we're not political. We're strategic.
I like that.
If rebalancing news and entertainment content helps us grow our footprint, we'll do it. So he's saying, hey.
He's seen them numbers. He said, hey, we're going to sit here for a little while.
and to that, I say, Mr. Ellison, please feel to reach out to the boys. We are a bipartisan podcast. And
yes, we are.
Look, CNN has a show. We think that we might go well with your content. So hit up the boys. We're fair and balanced and also funny.
Yep.
So let us know.
As Bobby Brown told Ja Rule, all we need is a stage, guys.
All we need is a stage.
Well, man, we'll see what is next in season 2 of season 27, episode 2 of South Park. And if this is the beginning, then I got a feeling that they're not gonna waste any time and capitalize on this moment. So,
and if it keeps me up and stuck, I hope the legal team gets a raise, because y'all about to be working.
I hope episodes drop on Monday. Don't drop them on a Thursday, and they got to go home with this on the weekend. Let it be Monday work. They can work through it Monday through Friday, and then they can enjoy their weekend. Don't do your legal team like that. You got to reward the people that take care of you. So, with that being said, the next segment that we are moving into is that while all this was going on and chatter was about us, our president was on the move. And he made a rare presidential visit to the Federal Reserve headquarters on the 24th, making it the first such visit in nearly 2 decades. And if you follow our TikTok page, you'll understand why this is a topic. During the tour of the $2.5 billion renovation project of 2 historic federal buildings, Trump claimed that the cost had ballooned to 3.1.
Bruh.
In this exchange,
Elite.
bruh, when I tell you, I was picking up some dinner from me and my family, and literally when I seen the clip, I sat in my car and I know I laughed for 5 minutes straight, letting the TikTok clip just run over and over because this is why Jerome Powell is that man. This is why we said any white man named Jerome got to be about it, because Jerome's face was like, what the hell are you talking about?
you counting $1 billion. You counted $1 billion that's already been dealt with. What are you talking about?
But for the listeners, hold up, man. This is what had me weak. Trump said that it was 2.5. He said, but it's 3.1 more or less. So now we don't know whether it's more or less. And then Jerome just sitting there like, bro, where you get these numbers from? Trump said it just came out. Now, hold on. And this is where I have a problem with MAGA, because they don't be picking up what he be putting down, and what he be putting down be stupid stuff. How in the world did you get a piece of paper with these numbers in your coat pocket and you've been walking around touring this site, but the numbers just dropped? If they just dropped, then how you know about it?
Oh, because he asked for. Look, I was shocked. That he had the paper.
Oh, I won't, because if you zoom in on it, he used it. It wasn't even the Microsoft Word. It was what's the below the bottom shelf one, Notes. Microsoft Notes.
Bruh.
Look, I was like, yo, that don't even look like no legit. First of all, it was a single page. I know that when we review numbers at my job, and we're running over costs and all this stuff, it ain't fitting on just one side of one piece of paper, bro.
Absolutely not. Like, all this money,
bro.
Single pay.
And then Jerome said, "Did this come from us?" And Trump said, "It came from somebody here." Yeah, bro. Ain't nobody walked up to you and gave you that paper, bro.
You know, old Toby.
Oh, the
Tim Scott,
the Secretary of Cotton and Textile.
we saw it was close to 3.1.
He just sat there and snickered and grinned. And
no one talking to you.
Won't nobody talking to you, boy. and you the only one in here that ain't got no hard hat on. That should tell you how they feel about you. All the white men in the building got on a hard hat, but you. That should tell you, bro, what they think about you. But you know, they never mind. Let me not go there. I was about to put Toby in his place. I can't stand Tim Scott, man.
Right.
I really can't. But in this, Jerome was like, bro, you added on a third building. And then Trump said, well, it's all a part of it because it's being built. And Jerome said the building was built 5 years ago.
Well, and let's clarify for our listeners what's involved. Originally, this involved the Mario Eskills building, the main Fed headquarters that was built in 1937. And the William Martin Jr. building that they acquired in 1974. A third federal building that was renovated earlier, and that's the one that Jerome pointed out was not part of the current project.
Yeah.
What they were doing were adjusting seismic and structural upgrades, modernizing antiquated electrical, mechanical, and HVAC systems, because I'm no expert in HVAC and electricity, but I think technology has improved since at least 1974.
I hope it has.
But also meeting federal accessibility and sustainability requirements while preserving the historic architecture. So the original estimate around it was 1.9 in 2021 dollars. And has anything happened with our money between then and now?
I believe it has. I think inflation.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Okay. Got you.
So the fact that it's increased 600 million is not a shocking number to me.
Yeah.
And again, they're removing asbestos,
Yep.
updating security. A little thing called tariffs have also sent up the money. Not sent up the cost. So it got expensive, and I get that. But man, Jerome is here. I got time.
And I think that after this, and Jerome might be feeling himself now, bro, because he might have seen how the socials have reacted to it.
Bro, streets love Jerome.
Hey, the streets love Jerome, bro. Jerome like that old grandpa man that he don't let nothing slide. He picking up. And it was cool, bro, because he did like all old men do. He pulled them glasses out that pocket so fast. Let me put this on and read what you put. He folded it back and handed it to Trump so quick. But I love that he corrected him in the moment, because so many times we see Trump do these things where he start veering off and nobody say nothing. They just sit there. But Jerome was like, nah. He made it very evident that what Trump was stating just was not accurate in its context. And from what has been released, they said that internally, Jerome, those people that know Jerome, he's told people that he's sticking it out. Yeah. He's not gonna let Trump bully him to fight to quit. Which I
appointed me to 10 years.
I'm gonna do my job.
I'm here to turn 27.
I'm gonna do my job, which is, we talked about it before. That's wild that he don't even remember he even appointed the man. But I appreciate Jerome doing that and putting him in his place per se, letting him know, hey man, this ain't how this works. This ain't how this gonna go down. You ain't gonna just sit here not while in front of my face and just be saying and doing whatever you want to do. But I think that Trump says that, I just wanted to go and see the renovations and look at these things. I think he went there trying to punk Jerome.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely, because ultimately this didn't matter. So
yeah,
for our listeners, the Federal Reserve is independently funded and doesn't get any congressional appropriations.
Bingo.
None of our taxpayer, I'm going to say this very specifically, none of our taxpayer dollars go directly to the Fed. How the Fed makes money is they get earnings from their security holdings. That's primarily how they make their money.
Yep.
They have fees for services that they provide to banks. So check clearings, electronic payments, and cash distribution. They have regulatory fees. And the Fed collects assessment fees from financial institutions it supervises. And under all that they collect, they have responsibilities that they have to meet under the Federal Reserve Act and Dodd-Frank. So none of this comes directly from us through the federal government. Maybe through the banks we use, it goes through that way, but it's still not directly. So, and all this was done is to keep the Fed from being political.
Yep.
All of it.
Yep. So,
and honestly, the net earnings go back to the U.S. Treasury, benefiting the taxpayers.
Exactly. And I love that. I love how Jerome made that, like, even with, I feel like from what you're saying, the facts that you're bringing forth, I felt like to his base, he tried to twist it as though, the feds, they don't have the oversight and they're just blowing money and wasting money. And even Tim Scott kind of tried to say that without the context of knowing that taxpayer dollars not even directly going to them. And I think Jerome, you could even tell, because he was like, Trump was asking him, do you think that, the cost is going to go up anymore? And he was like, well, no, I don't. He said, but even if it does, we have our reserve. We have our own, like,
we plan for this.
Yeah, we got our money. We good. Like, you ain't got to worry about it. And it's not, and if we needed it, it wouldn't certainly come from you. Yep. But Trump tried to turn it a little bit different, to make it look a little bit different, to appease to his people.
I think what he's trying to do is clear. I think he is trying to build a public case to attempt to fire Powell.
Yep.
And I mean, he can't just outwardly fire him.
Yeah.
But he does have some options that he can try. He can try to fire him, but that's unlikely it's going to survive a challenge in court because you have to have negligent activity, which I don't believe is going to happen.
Yeah, Powell seems to be very stand up, man.
Yeah. The other option is, hey, when his term comes up, he's not going to reappoint him as chair, and I think that is guaranteed at this point.
Oh yeah,
but it's still 2027.
So that's a 1 year before his term's over with, right?
Yep. If vacancy, now here's where it could also start get interesting. His other option is as other memberships on the boards and other vacancies become open on the board, that he tries to stack the deck and start appointing people to the federal board who will go against Powell. I think that's likely to happen, but from my understanding, it sounds like the rest of the Federal Reserve Board is behind Powell. So I don't think there'll be any openings coming immediately.
Yeah.
The part that could happen, but he would need a lot of help to do it, is congressionally. They change things to give the president the ability to be able to fire him or shorten the term. And I think that's going to be problematic because half of Congress off gates thinks you touch little kids.
Yeah.
And at least 15-20% of that remaining 50% at least have questions whether you do.
Yep.
So to get enough congressional support to try to get something passed, to get this done, it's not going to be as easy, crazy enough to put those words together, but to be as easy to get done as it was getting the big, beautiful bill done.
Yeah.
So I think that puts him in a situation. I think ultimately Trump is just going to have to ride this out, and they're just going to be trading barbs back and forth.
Yeah.
And
hope he catch a win.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is not as if Jerome has said, no, we're never cutting rates. That's not been the case. His stance has been, we don't know how tariffs are going to impact the country and our economic situation.
He's doing his job.
Crazy.
He's doing his job. And that's ultimately what it is. And Trump's mad that he won't do his bidding versus doing his job.
Right.
If I'm unsure,
at you, Tulsi,
bruh, facts. Yes. So, but if he is unsure, then why move? That's wisdom. Why do it if I know where I'm at now, but I'm unsure if I move out of this spot, what I'm going to look like or where I'm going to go. Why not sit until you have clarity? Because what he does affects a lot of people.
Globally.
It's globally, yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jerome. Jerome, as we've said here on the pod, brother, keep up the good fight. You are one of our honorable mentions. In the brass of people who are fighting the good fight. So, brother, keep fighting on, man, and don't let Trump bully you, man. Every time he come up there to that Fed talking crazy, call that man out.
And I will say, the way Jerome looked at that piece of paper is the exact way I looked at my electric bill this past month. Like, whoa, what that? Exact same look on my face.
Jerome looked like he said, "Hold on, is this Arabic or Hebrew? Cause I can't. what am I reading?
I am not fluent in either."
Jerome said, "This is a Waffle House receipt." Man, you added on 2 scrambled eggs and a pancake and a waffle, bro. No, this ain't what I ordered.
What, sir? This is Target. Why are you trying to return this with a Walmart receipt?
That's exactly how Jerome looked at that. Like, bro, and handed it back quick, man. You don't get out of here. Go somewhere. Go. But Jerome, keep fighting the good fight, man. Keep fighting the good fight. All right, man.
Man.
So we've come to that point in the episode, man, where you guys know we have none other than our pickle of the week.
We've got your pickle. We've got your pickle. We've got your pickle.
We got a pickle.
Who's in the brine?
I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. She knows she in a pickle. Candace Owens.
Man, yes.
Baby girl, you in the pickle, man.
You in the pickle. You might be okay, but
you might be okay, but you in the pickle.
You in the pickle.
Because I feel like Candace has struggled ever since. I feel like she maybe partially ousted out of the MAGA movement. So she's out here just like a nomad herder trying to find her way in the society, not being really accepted in the places that she resembles, and not in the places that she shares some of the same ideology. So she has her own little podcast thing going on or whatever, and she has been very adamant about talking a little smack about some people, man. And she kind of got herself into a little bit of an issue when she started talking about the French president,
Emmanuel Macron.
Macron and his wife, Brigitte Macron. And she's stated that her name is not Brigitte Macron, but she is a man. So much so to the point that she has developed a series where she uncovers, I forgot what his name is, but Jacques or something like that. It started with a J, but she's gone on and she's made this whole series about him being a man and he's fathered kids and then he transitioned and all this. Well, the Macron said enough is enough. On the 23rd, they filed a 22-count defamation lawsuit in Delaware Superior Court against Candace Owens. And they're accusing her of spreading a baseless conspiracy that Brigitte Macron was born a man under the name Jean Michael Trugno and rebranded her identity through a transition, among other false claims. Now, Candace, and I think this actually marks the first time, man, we've seen like a foreign leader or
suing in U.S. courts,
a U.S. media personnel. But Candace, she got pictures of this boy and saying this was him. Now I will say, and for the French, I love you. So don't take this out on the pod. Now, I do think their relationship is weird.
It's a little off.
I believe that Brigitte was like his school teacher.
He was like 16. She was like 40 something. Like,
yeah, and ended up like little man weird. Now, granted, I know that little boys may have had crushes on little teachers here and there, but not that won't not at this level. Now, this is a little weird. And so yeah, there is some weirdness to this relationship. Or let me not say that because love is love. Let me be politically nice here. Love is love, but it's just a little unnatural.
No, it's not. Let's not say. I'm going to say unconventional.
Okay.
Unconventional. It is not a type of relationship arc story that we are used to seeing here in the United States without saying, that's strange. But that's just us here in America.
Hey, whatever floats his boat and soaks his baguette, let him do it. But, Candace, you might want to tread lightly, man, because I don't know what this looks like since this being the first time ever that this has happened to this magnitude. I don't know what this looks like for Candace.
Here's, I think, going to be the real interesting piece of this is you can make fun of public figures.
Yeah.
But I don't think she was making fun. She was reporting the news.
Yeah, really. Like she legit went on a case study about how this was a man.
Yeah.
Now, granted, only claim that I can say she might have a point on is when she smacked him on that airplane and we saw it. Homeboy took a couple of steps back. And she ain't a big lady at all. And Miss Brigitte is not a big lady at all. So for her to have took them steps, she might got a little more DNA in that tricep and bicep than was normal. Candace might be on to something. I don't know. We don't know. We ain't said nothing. My name Bennett and the pod ain't in it. But Candace done put her ducks up because when you invest this much into it, you might want to tread lightly, because now what does this look like? I don't even know how this is going to turn out, but Candace, you might be in a pickle, because I don't think you got too much more of a leg to stand on, and from a media perspective, since your fall from grace in the MAGA universe, this might be the nail in the coffin, bro.
Yeah.
So Candace, baby girl, you in the pickle, man. Sorry for you. Tread lightly. You can't. See, Candace don't realize when you like us, there's a certain way that you approach certain things to keep yourself safe. In our community, we know how to we know how to do that.
And not all subjects are meant for us to touch.
Bingo. You know the ones where we go, man. We done been there before. We like, hey,
that ain't for us, man.
Yep. Yeah.
We'll see how we'll watch this. We'll watch this one from afar.
Yep. So yeah, Candace, you got to figure your way through that, Brian. So that's my pickle of the week. So as we reach the end of this episode, my brother, what's your spotlight of the week?
Man, well, there's about to now be impacts of the big beautiful bill, and I want to talk about something that we're going to be watching for North Carolina. But there's rural hospitals in Robertson County, here in North Carolina. So it's right off of I-95 if you're driving down. And that the only hospital in Robertson County has some challenges ahead of them over the next couple months, couple years. So 58% of Robertson County residents are enrolled in Medicare. Mm-hmm. Over 15% without any health insurance. So, and of those, there's about 20% of the enrollees have enrolled since the state recently expanded its Medicaid coverage. And that's going to be a problem because they are quickly losing money. I think over the last year, that particular hospital had an operating loss of $74.8 million in 2022.
Wow.
And with the danger now comes into all this together is there is a very particular clause that, according to North Carolina law, if federal funding for Medicaid expansion in North Carolina drops below 90% and the state can't make up the rest of that cost, then health coverage from those enrolled through Medicaid expansion would be discontinued.
Bruh.
And with 20% of the new enrollees being enrolled in the massive, massive impacts.
Yeah.
And this was one of my concerns back when we expanded Medicaid coverage. And I know a lot of other Republicans also had the same view. Do I disagree with us expanding medical coverage? No. But my stance was that we needed to have a plan if at any point the federal funding for this expansion went away. And now we're here. So unfortunately it's a trigger law. So it's not like, hey, they can all get back together. You know, the General Assembly can come back together and say, hey, do we want to do this or not? No, it clicks in immediately. It goes down to 89. Boom, it's in. We're here. So I am very concerned. You know, if you look across the state, 400,000 people. So not just in Robertson County, 400,000 low-income adults in North Carolina have gained coverage through us expanding Medicare. So definitely really impactful. And if we lose that, not only do we have this 400,000 that may be at risk of keeping their coverage, we'll have an additional 80,000 jobs in healthcare that are now at risk. So there's a lot that could happen. I would be shocked if the General Assembly didn't look at this in some capacity when they come back into session, but we'll see. But this is something that we'll be watching, keeping eyes on. And again, we knew that there were going to be state implications to the states for for the big, beautiful bill. And now we're going to start seeing them one by one, be it good or bad. And
Man.
yeah, that is my spotlight.
Well, man, I have just one, and I'm gonna try to keep it brief, even though it's something that I could spend hours talking on. Um, but I wonder how Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sleeps at night.
Bruh.
The starvation that is going on within the Palestinian people is absolutely ridiculous. And
I think they're at like stage 4.
Yeah, it's getting severe. Children are dying in the last 24 hours. I think they said like maybe in one region there was like 10 to 12 kids that had like died in like 24 hours. And I have a real serious problem with how this is being conducted, and even more of a problem as to why we as the United States have not stood up and told Benjamin that he needs to do something about this ASAP, or there will be some ramifications. Because I understand he's trying to eliminate Hamas, but I think that he is now using the tone and the approach of eliminating Hamas as a reason for him to, what I feel like at this point is just eliminating the Palestinian people. Because while you can't, if you're working to eliminate something, you can't kill everyone around it just to eliminate that one thing. And I feel like that is his approach. He has, I think, paused some military action in some regions, not even all regions, some regions. And I think I read that most of those regions are already under Israeli control.
Well, and we're also hearing that now that like a bunch of other countries are sending stuff over. I forget the organization, but it's like the UN organization that helps supply food says, hey, we have enough food to feed everyone in Palestine for 3 months.
Yeah.
We've been sitting on this food just waiting for an opportunity to get in.
Yep.
So they are rushing food there right now, because I think the big question is, how long does this stay stable?
But I think that even the UN and Israel, because Benjamin has even attacked them, saying that, you know, they're not securing and doing this, and the UN said, well, we're trying, but there's all this rejection and all this other crap that's going on that's really not allowing us. And where the most severe of the starvation is happening, there is no access to that, to resources. So I really think that at this point, which I've done myself personally, is really question the motive of what Benjamin is doing here. I'm not going to say Israel, because I think that Israeli people, though there is a difference amongst these people, I think that if we look at this as just plain out human beings,
people,
you can see that this is a problem. This is not the best approach. And I know in war there can be casualties, but I feel like we're tiptoeing over that line. Well, we got boots on the ground well over that, and I'm saying that as the line dance. We've tap danced and line danced over that, and I think that Benjamin needs to be held accountable for that.
And it'll be, look, if he's not held accountable here on Earth,
yes, Lord, yes, Lord.
But it's rough. It's rough. You know, we are at the stages where people's DNA is being adjusted due to the level of starvation that they're seeing there. And that's problematic. And then on top of this, like on top of all that, oh, wait, sorry, you're going to say something, my bad.
No, you're good. I was just going to say that just to clarify my approach, this has nothing to do with the war for me.
No,
I'm not saying that I'm for, because at the end of the day, the war is between Israel and Hamas. This isn't Israel against Palestine. This isn't taking an approach saying that I'm pro-Israel or pro-Palestine. No, I'm pro-people.
Yep.
I'm pro-life with the intent of preserving those that are in need and having the resources and providing that, not because of who they are, because of who we are. And we realize that as human beings, we take care of our neighbors. We take care of one another despite our differences. And that's my problem in all of this. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I don't want somebody to hear this and say, he's pro-Palestine, he's pro-Israel. I ain't pro nobody. I'm pro-life. I'm pro doing the right thing. I'm pro treating people like I would want somebody to treat me if I was starving.
Well, and on top of that, if your concern is the security of Israel, and completely for a country defending themselves, this is how you create another Osama.
Yep.
You don't think any of these
There's
kids...
a child sitting there watching his family die, and if he make it out of, do you think he won't be the next leader of some radical movement? Why do we think that? I've said the same thing domestically about how Trump handling these deportations.
Yep.
Some kid is seeing his family get ripped apart, and that is going to be I say the right kid, but the right kid with the wrong approach or the wrong mindset. You just made you another domestic terrorist. You just made yourself another person to lead another radical group. This isn't the way. It isn't the way. No, if you want to starve out Hamas, you don't starve out all the Palestinian people just so you can say we killed Hamas. No. So yeah, bro. If you got anything for else to it, brother, but like I said, I can talk about it for a minute.
Yeah.
But I have a serious problem, and it bothers me, especially when people don't see that this is a problem.
Yeah, agreed.
Two things can be right. Hamas needs to be eliminated, but we also need to protect the Palestinian people, the innocent Palestinian people.
Yep.
So
agreed.
That's all I got for my spotlight before I get too worked up. Cause you know how I get, bro. But man, look, this episode, season 2, episode 30 is a special one. And I know we kind of didn't take our normal approach as we normally do to these topics, but there is a much more important thing here that's at play. And that's my brother who is celebrating another year. That outweighs any political topic that we could talk about. For my brother to be here for another year, that's just a blessing, not to his family, but to our league, our friends. And I want you to enjoy, brother.
And before we sign off, we would be remiss, because it kind of dawned on me, getting older now, we're starting to have people pass on that we grew up with.
Yeah. And
earlier this week, Malcolm Jamal Warner passed.
Yeah.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't, thoughts and prayers to his family, and especially his daughter, who's, reported to have watched this all kind of happen.
Yeah.
And, Malcolm, Theo, let's go with Theo was kind of like everyone's TV big brother, at least mine, just because the age I was at when, and to always just be so positive and so focused on, uplifting, whether that be through his TV roles or the music he did and his poetry. He wanted everything to mean something. So he did. So this is definitely a big loss, and to lose somebody at 54, I think he was,
which is young, bro.
Is super young. But, peace to you,
your family.
And peace to the family as you guys begin to process and deal with it, and his friends and family who are now trying to navigate life without him.
Yep.
Not also being lost. The ocean's dangerous. The ocean's dangerous. So, especially in the African American community, there aren't a lot of people who know how to swim comparatively to other races. Definitely get swimming lessons. Learn to swim. But even if you learn to swim, I swim competitively, and the ocean is a different beast.
It sure is, bro.
It's a different beast. So
whole different beast.
Always be careful when you're in the water. But definitely we'd be remiss if we didn't get out here and send our thoughts and prayers to his friends and family.
I thought you was going to name somebody else. I was about to say, you about to get us canceled in the black community.
We ain't got time for that one.
But definitely to his family and to his baby girl, to know that, she had a good dad, man. And he was loved by many. Loved by many. So you definitely should hold your head and be proud of who your dad was and had become in life, and the path that he paid for himself post the Cosby Show. So shout out to your family, man. And may our thoughts and prayers be with you. So that is the end of our episode. We will catch you at the next one. As we always say, if don't nobody love you, just know the boys here at the pod.
We love y'all.
Take care, and we'll see you next week. Take care.